Hi, this is Jeannie. I have a boxwood wreath that fell off the door, and I've had it quite a while, and it's one that was on a styrofoam base, and it's possible I might could fix it and glue it back together, but like I say, I've had it for a while, and it's my fault that it fell off. I just didn't have it secured well enough. So I was getting ready to just toss it. And then I happened to think about, how these little pieces are put on there. And I pulled, see there, those pieces, they're just stuck in there and hot glued. And you can pull them out. And I thought, well, I'm not going to throw that away. Okay, what I think I can do to get these little pieces of boxwood out of this styrofoam without, if I pull on them like this, I pull some of the greenery off. So I'm going to try these needle nose pliers and kind of get under that where it's hot glued and try to get a hold of that stem like that. And then just take those pliers and twist that old hot glue off. And then I'll just, once I get all these pulled off, I'll go back and snip those ends. But that's going to come off okay. They're just going to be a little bit long for this styrofoam wreath. So if I put that through all the way, it's going to be just a little much. So I'm going to snip those off at an angle, about a ½ inch off of that. So I'm just going to go and take all these little pieces of boxwood off this wreath and get that hot glue off. Get all these cleaned up, and then I'll come back and make my wreath. Hi, this is Jeannie, and today I'm going to take a 12-inch grapevine wreath and I'm going to make a new boxwood wreath. My boxwood wreath that was on a styrofoam base fell off my door the other day and it broke, and I was just going to discard it. And then I got to looking, and each one of the little boxwood clumps was on there, just like a little pick. So I thought, well, I'm going to pull those off and see what happens. So I pulled all the boxwood pieces off and got the hot glue off and cleaned up the stems. And it was like a 16-inch boxwood wreath, and I think I can get 2 wreaths, round wreaths, on this little 12-inch grapevine. So I shopped at the Trendy Tree warehouse. Of course, Trendy Tree is my daughter's business, and son-in-law David. And I picked up a couple of bushes to fill in. I thought, well, I might as well make this a mixed green, a mixed boxwood wreath in case I needed to fill in some pieces. So one is kind of a lamb's ear piece, and that number is 13450GN. It's a Flock Dusty Miller, sorry. And the other one is 13293BU9, and it's a combination boxwood, and it's got some eucalyptus, and that's some seeded eucalyptus. So those are my bushes. Now what I did, I went ahead and I counted out the number of pieces that I had, so I divided it. So I've got 32 pieces of boxwood here, and then I cut up one of the bushes, and it had like I don't know how many pieces there are, but I cut them up. I cut up the 2 bushes. So I want to keep my wreath sort of evenly spaced with the greenery. So I just have some chenille stems, and I'm just going to mark it off in quarters. I thought that would help me keep it looking even. And there may be a better way to do this, but this is just what I could think of. And I'm wanting to try out my new hot glue gun. It's a cordless hot glue gun that I got from Bauer, from Home Depot, and we'll see how it works today. Now I have a glue skillet I could use. So out of 32, I figure I can do 7 pieces in each quadrant, and then have like one left over if I need to, 1 or 2 left over and I need to fill in any gaps. So I'm gonna put my boxwood, I'm gonna put it sort of like the tulips, I'm gonna put it in all going in one direction. And I'm sure gonna have some pieces that are gonna fall off and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna put 7 pieces of my boxwood, and then I will put, this bush had 5 pieces, so I'll just use one of the flock Dusty Miller, and then I think this piece over here had 9. This bush, the eucalyptus boxwood, had like 9, so I'll put 2 of it, and that'll give me a little bit left over in case I need to do something else. So I'm just gonna try this hot glue gun, and it is hot. I looked for a temperature setting on it and I'm not seeing one, so it's just gonna be hot, I know. It is hot. Oh, let's see, I didn't count out my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me get my count off. This is an experiment, so we'll just, see how that goes. I just hated to throw it away. And I was close to throwing it away, and then I thought, well, maybe I could just salvage it, make something new. Okay, so that's one section. So I'm just going to repeat that same pattern all the way around. I use 7 pieces of the boxwood. One of that, and 2 of that. Okay. Okay, so we're like halfway. I think that's gonna be just fine. You can kind of fluff that out. But I like the difference, the different pieces. It gives it a little more dimension, a little more texture. Okay, so let's move on to this next quadrant. We're going to keep working in the same direction. I've been kind of putting them in at an angle up that way. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay, so that's 7 pieces of that. 1 of that. 2 of that. Okay. I'm going to shorten that a little bit. I'm using a stem cutter over here. Okay, so we're down to the last quarter. Okay, so that's my 7 pieces. My 1 Dusty Miller and 2 of the others. And then I've still got 4 or 5 pieces that I can fill in with as needed. I'm gonna go ahead and take that chenille stem off, get it out of the way. This would be easier with my glue skillet, but I wanted to see how this glue gun works. And it's hot. The only thing I don't like about it, I'm not seeing a temperature gauge, like a low or a high. I should have checked that, and I'll have to look at the instructions. There may be something. I mean, it's hot, but I don't want it to be, I don't want my glue to be dripping too much. Okay, that looks pretty good. It looks like it might be a little, I could probably use a little more right in here. So I'm gonna take my extras and just stick in a few more pieces. Just use up what I have. No need to waste it. That looks pretty good. I could use a little something right over in there. And you know, sometimes you just need to hang it on your wall to get a good look at it. So let me just put it over here on my board for just a second. I'm gonna put a little extra, I have an extra piece of the flock dusty miller and the eucalyptus, so I'm gonna put one right along in there. I have this little piece left over. Let's find a place to put it. How about right up there? 2 more little pieces. Oh, let me get rid of my chenille stem. Uh-oh. If I pull the trigger too much, my glue will drip. Of course, I've got it on a cutting pad, plastic cutting board to protect my table. Well, there's a little piece that doesn't have a stem, but I'm gonna put some hot glue on it and use it anyway. There's one more little piece. I like it. Okay, so instead of just discarding that one boxwood wreath, I've got just a few supplies, and I've going to turn it into 2 wreaths. I have the same amount of boxwood left, and I have another 2 bushes, and I'll have 2 wreaths, and this will be a good size for my side doors. Get rid of these chenille stems. Well, I can't tell if I'm undoing it or tightening it. Just cut it off. Well, I pulled out my piece of stuff. Let me put a little more hot glue on that. That one didn't have very much of a stem on it. Okay. Now then, okay. I like it. And of course you want to check the back and make sure I don't have any stems that are sticking out too far. There's one right there that needs to be trimmed off a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now we'll work on the other one. There's my wreath after I tied a bow. All I did was just take 3 or 4 different kinds of ribbon, and this is that gauzy like ribbon. It's wired, but you can see through it. The red is gauze ribbon too, and then I just chose this apple, just something for a really pretty spring, summer ribbon, and then just some black and white, and I just tied it onto the wreath. I just wanted a simple bow, but that's it. After I finished it, I had enough to make 2 wreaths out of that one, and I like the way they turned out, and there you have it. Thanks for watching.